Baseball has never been a fair sport. Just ask Brad Pitt.
It's an unfair game.
Thanks, Brad. In a way, this seems to be by design. The MLB is the only major professional sport without a salary cap. This means that teams can basically spend as much or as little as they want. Why is this? How is a small market team like Milwaukee able to compete with teams like the Yankees, who have all the money in the world? The 2011 film Moneyball tells the story of the 2002 Oakland Athletics, a small market team who lost three of their top players to bigger markets and managed to win more games without them on the back of a 20-game win streak. General manager Billy Beane valued on-base percentage to find players worth less that could have equal production to players making much more than them. When the Boston Red Sox tried to sign Beane as general manager, Red Sox owner John Henry broke down just how savvy the Athletics were.
You won the exact same number of games that the Yankees won, but the Yankees spent $1.4 million per win, and you paid $260,000.
Right there, that's the key. It doesn't matter how much money you spend, it's how you utilize it. You can buy all the players you want, but if they don't produce, you might as well light that money on fire. So how do you know how to spend that money? Well, let's go back to the Moneyball well and hear from assistant GM Peter Brand.
People who run ball clubs, they think in terms of buying players. Your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins. And in order to buy wins, you need to buy runs.
So knowing what we know, let's see what teams followed this module the best in 2021. Of the 30 MLB teams, two really stood out in terms of getting more with less. These were the Cleveland Guardians, formerly the Indians, as well as the Tampa Bay Rays. Both had bottom 5 payrolls, but were far and away the most efficient teams. Now, before we go further into this, it's important to note that Cleveland only won 80 games and missed the playoffs, while Tampa Bay won 100 games. We'll start with Cleveland, a team that lost their 3 biggest contracts from 2020. Simply put, they weren't expecting to be competitive. Their best and highest paid player was Jose Ramirez, a homegrown star making under $10 million a year. Ramirez is one of the most underrated players in baseball and had another stellar season. According to Fangraphs, he was the third best third baseman in baseball, ahead of guys like Manny Machado, Josh Donaldson, and Nolan Arenado, who make more than double what Ramirez does. Add to it guys like Cal Quantrill producing a 3.9 WAR season while making less than $600K, and it's no wonder why Cleveland was a big surprise in 2021. Then there's Tampa, who juggled the threat of moving to Montreal while playing in the worst stadium in baseball. Despite all of these outside distractions, they still had high expectations after losing the World Series in 2020. While the Rays didn't have a high-end superstar like Ramirez, they did have a merry band of depth with homegrown stars like Brandon Lowe and a Rookie of the Year campaign by Randy Arozarena. They also saw a high-end prospect make his debut in shortstop Wander Franco. He electrified Tropicana Field, and the Rays did the best thing a small market can ever do: sign a young star to a long-term deal. He inked an 11-year, $182 million deal that will run until he's 32 years old, the same age that Albert Pujols started his 10-year, $240 million deal that blew up in the Angels' faces. That's how you win the game. No, baseball isn't fair, but as I learned in political science, the rules of the game matter. Small market teams win by getting more out of less, and when they do find a diamond in the rough, they secure it for a long time to come.